Afternoon, adventurers. You ready for the T? Which is to say the T spells in the new player's handbook. That was a terrible joke. Whatever, we're here now. There aren't as many as the S spells, that's for sure, but there are still quite a few, so let's dive right in with Tasha's Bubbling Cauldron, which is brand new in this new book. It allows us to conjure up a cauldron and pull potions out of it of our choice that are uncommon or common rarity. There are quite a variety, and some of them do some pretty cool stuff. Those potions stick around until either they're used or we cast the spell again, so we can easily cast this on a day that we aren't adventuring, or maybe we did some adventuring but we still have a 6th or higher level spell slot. The spell doesn't gain any bonus from upcasting, but that's okay, we can still cast it with a higher level slot if it's the end of the day. Potions that are available in the new DMG and are of the proper rarity are as follows: Oil of Slipperiness, Filter of Love, though you can't use that in Adventurers League. Love potions are super not allowed. Potion of Animal Friendship, Potion of Climbing, Potion of Comprehension, Fire Breath, Hill Giant Strength, Growth, Potion of Greater Healing, or Potion of Normal Healing if you want, but it's strictly worse, so I can't think of a reason why you'd do that. Potion of Poison, Potion of Pugilism, which is new and adds damage to unarmed strikes, very cool. Potion of Resistance, so if you know you're going to be fighting against a certain damage type, that is an option. And Potion of Water Breathing. So a huge variety of stuff that we can do. Not every potion you pull out of the cauldron has to be the same, so if you want to pull out one of Comprehension, one of Resistance, one of Water Breathing, and be prepared for multiple different scenarios, that is an option. Tasha's Hideous Laughter now benefits from upcasting by gaining 1 target per spell level above first, and no longer requires targets to have 4 or more intelligence. You can make anyone laugh regardless. How stupid they are. Telekinesis. Targets now make a strength saving throw instead of a contested strength check against the caster's spellcasting ability check. It's a little faster, a little simpler. Objects now have to be huge, but no longer have a weight limit of 1,000 pounds. So you can pick up anything regardless of its weight as long as it fits within a 15-foot cube, essentially. And a creature wearing or carrying an item that a caster tries to move with telekinesis has to make a strength saving throw instead of that contested check, just like if they were trying to be moved themselves. Telepathy is now divination instead of evocation, which only makes sense to me, and it no longer has an intelligence requirement, which means technically you can cast on creatures that have a 0 intelligence, and they will understand your telepathic utterances. For teleport, now being off target on that chart you gotta roll on, now puts you and whoever else you teleport with the spell, or the object you teleport with the spell, within 2d12 miles of the target instead of a percentage of how far you traveled, which makes the math just a whole lot easier, a whole lot smoother, and a whole lot faster. For the Thaumaturgy cantrip, the booming voice effect now gives the target advantage on intimidation checks, which is very cool. A lot of DMs were kind of already doing that, so it's nice that it's part of the spell now. Thunderclap is in this book. It was originally printed in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and it now has a range of self instead of a range of 5 feet. It is still a 5-foot emanation around the caster, so mechanically there's no difference, but just how it's written in the book is a little bit changed. If there are any features that interact with spells that have a range versus spells that have a self range, this now counts as a self spell. Thunderous Smite is now a prompted bonus action like the other Smite spells, and does not require concentration as a result. It also gains 1d6 of damage per spell level from upcasting. Tongues works the same as it always did, but now includes sign language. The target creature can understand any sign language they see, and any signing they do is understood by anyone regardless of whether they understand sign language or not. Transport via plants now lasts for a full minute instead of just 1 round, which is nice if not everyone can get to the portal right away. True Polymorph can now work on shapeshifters. That clause has been removed, and it now gives temporary hit points instead of changing the creature's hit points to the hit points of whatever they're transforming into. That is normal. That's the way that all of these sort of shape-altering effects work in the 2024 version of the rules. It's nothing new. And when changing an object into a creature, that creature takes its turn in combat immediately after the casters. At least until the spell is made permanent by maintaining concentration for the full time. Then, as DM, I would probably have it roll its own, but it's not explicitly stated either way. True Resurrection can now return an undead corpse to its previous life. The old version of the spell could simply create a new body for a creature that had its body turned to an undead, and that can still be done, but now you can use the undead version of the body, which means you can do it without knowing the creature's name. I don't know how much this is going to come up, especially because it's a 9th level spell and you only get it at very high levels, but it's nice that if you come across an arch-lich or something and you want to turn its corpse back to who the person was before they were a lich. Actually, liches might have a bit of a weird interaction because of phylacteries. Maybe that's not the best example. True Seeing no longer points out secret doors, but its other effects are covered by simply having True Sight, and if those secret doors are covered by illusion magic, for example, True Sight would see through that anyway. True Strike has had the biggest glow up of every spell in the book, hands down, because it used to be actively detrimental to cast it. Now it has the caster make an attack with a weapon, which can be a ranged weapon, allows us to use our spellcasting ability modifier for the attack and damage rolls, and allows us to deal radiant damage with the attack instead of the attack's normal damage type. And on top of that, it gains 1d6 of radiant damage at levels 5, 11, and 17. This functions pretty much like the Green Flame Blade and Booming Blade cantrips, although, as I mentioned a moment ago, it can be done with ranged weapons, as the other two cannot. And last but not least, Tsunami. The range has been reduced from anywhere within sight to 1 mile. Still very, very far. Otherwise, the spell works exactly as it used to. And that is all of the T's. That's all the T's, sis. So, thank you for watching. That's all I wanted to say. And have a good day. Or something. Happy adventuring.